Good morning, everyone. So this recording has been made to finish off the leftover part of monopolistic competition. In the class last day, we had discussed what are the characteristics of a monopolistic competition market and the various and the definitions, proper definitions we have done. And today I told that we will go through the equilibrium positions. Okay, we had also done the demand and the cost curve, right? Demand curve and cost curve was also done that day. So our next topic of discussion for today will be equilibrium price and output under monopolistic competition. So as usual, as per the trend, we go with the short run equilibrium. After that, we move on to the long run equilibrium. So let us start short run equilibrium. According to Professor Chamberlain, a firm under monopolistic competition has to make a wider range of decision other than under perfect competition. The firm may vary its price and with it, its sales and output. It may vary the quality of its product and it may engage in sales promotion activities such as advertisement, publicity, and propaganda, etc. As per our clear discussion on the characteristics of a monopolistic competition market, we had understood that in this market the firms has to do some extra task other than the than than in perfect competition market, because here almost all the products will be in a particular sector. Actually, all the products will be possessing similar type of features but with a little bit of distinctiveness, and the distinctiveness has to be created in the minds and hearts of the consumers, and this can be done by investing in advertisement and sales promotions, publicity and propaganda in activities like that, sales promotional activities like that. Okay, so and in this monopolistic competition market, the firms have to work a bit. They have to use their innovative ideas, they have to use their creativity so that they can place their product in front of the consumer in a completely different way. Okay, so thus there are three variables under monopolistic competition. One is price, one is product, and another is selling outlay. Okay, so price, product, and selling outlay can be termed as the three different variables under monopolistic competition. Now, it would be very difficult to discuss their effects simultaneously on a three-dimensional way. It is going to be difficult theoretically. Therefore, the equilibrium of the individual firm has been discussed with reference to price and output adjustments, assuming that the selling costs are absent. In other words, first the individual equilibrium will be examined and then the group equilibrium will be examined. Okay, so what is individual equilibrium? And for equilibrium condition, it is a mandatory rule that the marginal cost has to be equals to marginal revenue, and the marginal cost must cut the marginal revenue from below. So, under monopolistic competition, also the firm will enjoy the maximum profit when these two conditions are satisfied. These are the conditions of equilibrium. However, in short period, it is not necessary that all the firms also should have isoclassic demand curves. The elasticity of demand curve under monopolistic competition depends upon the attachment of the buyers. So this it will depend upon the age of the farm and of the product. Actually, what has been tried to explain in these three paragraphs is that suppose a farm is working for more number of periods of time and it is surviving well in the market. It is an old product. Okay, so on which you can trust blindly. So for those products, the consumers attraction will be more, attachment will be more, right? And and isn't said that for this product the elasticity will be less, because if the price is increased a bit, still, if since the consumer is having some level of confidence on the product, some level of trust in the product, so they will go on buying the product. So that in that case the elasticity will not be so much high. Simple increase in price will not bring simultaneously decrease in demand. So that is not going to happen. On the contrary, if the farm is a new one, if the farm is a new one, then obviously the consumer will be the demand for that product of the new farm is going to be more elastic, because the little bit of increase in the price will lead to a high change in the demand, high decrease in the demand. So and vice versa, like that it is going to happen in this market. Thus older farms will have greater price advantage, while newer farms will have lesser price advantage. Since it is assumed that product differentiation or the effects of selling costs are absent, cost curves of different firms will be somewhat identical. Okay, for theoretical purpose, the selling cost has been ignored, has been termed as absent. Okay, so here the cost curves will be identical. So, right, because if you include the selling cost, and also the selling cost will vary for the different types of funds, so in that case you will not be able to draw the cost curves. So in order to prove our point and show the equilibrium conditions under monopolistic competition, the impact of selling cost has been ignored for the time being. Okay, in order to uh, make our discussions easy. So it has in this discussion you will see that cost curves of the different firms will be identical. It follows, therefore, that older firms will make abnormal profits, right? While newer firms may have normal profits or even losses. Since older firms are staying for longer period of time and people are keeping on buying their products, say for example, um, product like Kellogg's cornflakes, okay, and different other cornflakes manufacturing company have are also there in the market, but they are quite new in the Indian market. Considering a low, if you stay in Siliguri, let us consider Siliguri's market only. So they, if you go to shopping malls, you will find different types of varieties of cornflakes, but in the local shops, in the kirana stores, you cannot see different varieties. You can see only the old farm which is there for a long period of time. Kellogg's only you will find, right? At the most you can find still, you can say overall you will find Kellogg's only mostly. So this is what is happening in the monopolistic competition market. Since Kellogg's is there for a long period of time and people have already built up their trust in their product, so obviously people will keep on buying the product in despite the fact that Kellogg's increases their price, right? So in considering this condition in monopolistic competition market, you can say that older firms will earn abnormal profits, supernormal profits, whereas the newer firms will have either normal profit or may even incur losses. To be very clear and simple, it is stated that there may be three equilibrium conditions of a firm in the short period under monopolistic competition. So you remember the discussion under perfect competition market. There also we have seen in the short run there can be three conditions of equilibrium. One is the firm can have abnormal profits. One is it may undergo losses, and one is the firm can earn only normal profits. Okay. And also we will include a different condition here where the firm will incur supernormal profits. So we will discuss abnormal and supernormal separately here in monopolistic competition. So under monopolistic competition, a firm earns maximum profits or is in equilibrium when marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue, and the marginal cost curves cut the marginal revenue curve from below. Right, in this figure which you can see right now on your screen, the firm is in equilibrium at the OX1 level, isn't it, of output, and at the point E2, and at the point E, not E2, E. This is the point of equilibrium, right? Here you can see that the marginal revenue and marginal cost are meeting each other. That means marginal cost is exactly equals to marginal revenue. And here the other second condition, that is marginal cost should cut marginal revenue curve from below, that is also getting satisfied. Okay, so this point of equilibrium in this diagram is this point E. And what is the equilibrium level of output? It is OX1. Okay, the firm here is earning supernormal profits or abnormal profits since average revenue is greater than the average cost. Here you see in this diagram, when you will draw this diagram, you will draw this average revenue curve in a little bit of flatter manner. Okay, here the average revenue will lie above the average cost curve. See, where is this average cost curve, which is also U shape, is lying? It is lying above the point of equilibrium. But this average cost curve should lie below the average revenue curve. Okay, the main reason for this abnormal profits is that the other rival firms are not able to produce closely competitive substitutes. Okay, the main reason for this type of situation, you will draw this diagram perfectly so that this average cost lies above this point of equilibrium, but it should lie below average revenue curve. And the conditions of equilibrium also have to be satisfied. One is marginal cost and marginal revenue will meet at the point E, and marginal cost will curve marginal revenue from below. Drawing this diagram, after drawing this diagram, you will state the reason for this type of situation. The main reason for this abnormal profit is that the other rival firms are not able to produce even closely substitute products which can pose as a competition to the old firms. Hence, they are not able to attract consumers towards their product. Okay, so in this diagram, only the old farms are the kings. They are selling their product with all zest, and they are able to earn supernormal or abnormal profits in this diagram. Okay, then let us move on to the normal profit diagram. If under monopolistic competition, this is normal profit. If under monopolistic competition, the price of product is equals to AC, that is average cost, the firm will be earning only normal product profit. Right. In this figure, marginal cost is equals to marginal revenue at the point E. This is the equilibrium point. Okay, the conditions are getting satisfied. At equilibrium point, the equilibrium output is OX1 and the price is how much? OP1. Right. How will you draw this? I told you in my previous discussions that you will stretch this line from point E and you will touch this average revenue curve, and from there you will draw a perpendicular on the y-axis. Like that you will have to draw, and you can tell that this is the point of equilibrium's output, or the output level of output at equilibrium, which is OX1, and the price or the equilibrium price is OP1. Okay, at this point AC is NX1. Where is AC? AC means the average cost. There also average cost you will draw, which will pass through this point, which you have made by stretching this line from the point E and taking it towards AR. Okay, in there you will make a tangent and draw an AC curve, average cost curve. Right, at this point the average cost is going to be NX1, because this is the average cost point and the total amount is NX1. Right, so this NX1 is the average cost, and average revenue is also NX1, isn't it? Since average cost is a tangent to the average revenue curve, that means average cost is exactly equals to average revenue. Okay, so average revenue is also NX1. That is average revenue equals to average cost. Thus, the firm will be earning only normal profits at this point. This diagram is almost similar to the perfect competition diagram. Okay, so you should draw the diagram perfectly so that your discussions justifies your points. And the third is sustaining losses. However, it is also possible that the demand may not be favorable to farm under monopolistic competition. That is, it may not be able to attract the consumers towards its products. It is possible if it fixes the price equal to its short run average cost. Okay, now for it may happen, it is also possible in this market that the demand may not be favorable to the farms who are in this market. In other words, you can say that they may not be able to attract the consumers towards their product. If it fixes its price which is equals to the short run average cost, the farm will try to be in a position where it will earn normal profit at least. So if it places its price exactly equals to the average cost, then it can make normal profit. So some farms after doing this may see that they are not able to attract the consumers towards its product, but it is compelled to sell its product at the price which is less than even its short period average cost. So if it happens in this situation that if it fixes the price equals to SSC, then the people are not getting attracted to buy its product, then the farm will be compelled to sell its product at a price which is going to be low than even its short period average cost, right? Then the farm will be compelled to sell the product at a price which will be lower than even its average cost. Hence it may incur loss. In the long run may leave the industry also, if it is not possible for it to change its demand relative to its cost conditions through product differentiation and advertisement. If it fails to differentiate its product from other competitors, from other rivals in the market, then the farm may decide to leave the industry in the long run. In this figure that you can see on your screen at this moment, the farm is in equilibrium again at the point E, where MC is equals to MR and MC is cutting MR from below. At this equilibrium level, the output is how much? OX1, and the price is OP, right? And the okay, yeah, at this equilibrium level, the output is OX1 at price OP. Corresponding to this, the average cost LX1. This is the average cost. Okay, SAC now you will draw above AR curve. SAC you will draw above AR curve. Okay, because in this kind of market situation where you are unable to attract, where the farms are unable to attract customers, the farm will be compelled to sell its product at a price which will be lower than even its short run average cost. So SAC you will draw above this average revenue curve. Okay, corresponding to this, average cost is going to be LX1, and this is greater than the average revenue MX1. This is the average revenue where you can point from the average revenue curve till the x-axis. So this average revenue that is MX1 is lower than LX1, right? Since revenue is less than the cost, the farm will sustain losses equals to the shaded area, PLMN. PLMN, the shaded area is the zone of losses. Okay, I hope it is clear. If not, you in the next class when we meet, you can place your doubts. Okay. Then come to long run individual equilibrium. Long period refers to that time period in which each farm can change its production capacity by changing the fixed as well as variable factors. This we know by now. I'm not going into detail of this line's discussion. New farms can enter the industry and old farms can exit it. Basically, the farms in the long run will get the normal profits. Okay. In the long run, it is said that since the farms can change its fixed as well as variable factors of production, then new farms can enter the industry and old farms can also exit it, because it all depends on time, how well they can utilize the time. Basically, if the farm stays, then in the long run, the farm will get the normal profits. if the existing farms are making supernormal profits, it will attract some of the new farms in the industry. Now, how this will happen? That all the farms who are surviving in this monopolistic competition market will earn normal profits. Suppose if the existing farms are making supernormal profits, then it will attract some of the new farms in the industry, like it happened in perfect competition also. Then the entry of new farms will result into overproduction, which will have a depressing effect on the price. Fact. Hence, all the farms in the long run will get normal profits. In this figure, output is measured on the x-axis, whereas price on the y-axis. LAC is the long run average cost and LMC is the long run marginal cost curve. All are U-shaped, but LMC you will try to draw it in a way that it will cut this AR curve or MR curve from below. So you will draw this LMC and LAC curve, and the farm is in equilibrium because at the point E, this MC is equals to MR, right? And this point also you will draw in such a way that LMC curve will cut this MR curve at the point E. So the farm is in equilibrium. The equilibrium output is OX1 and the price is OP. Since at this equilibrium average revenue curve is tangent to long run average cost curve at the point M, hence the farms are all earning normal profits. So this diagram you will draw in almost similar way like you drew the second diagram in today's discussion, okay, where the farms earns normal profits only. Like that, you will make LAC curve as a tangent to the AR curve, and LMC curve will cut MR curve from below at the point E, so that OX1 level of output is the equilibrium level and OP is the equilibrium price. At this prices and at this price and at this level of output, in the long run, all the farms who are surviving, they are going to earn normal profits. Like that, you will explain. Then group equilibrium. Under monopolistic competition, the word group is used for industry. There is a difference between an industry and a group. An industry generally consists of firms which produce homogeneous product, whereas a group is composed of firms which produce a differentiated product. Okay, industry you can consider it as at composition as a composition of firms that produce homogeneous similar type of products. Okay, whereas when you mention the term group, then it indicates that this group is composed of some firms which produces a differentiated product. Thus, group consists of a number of firms producing close substitutes. For example, shoe making firms like Bata, Carona, and Liberty are a group. To study group equilibrium, we assume that demand and cost curves of all the firms are identical, and no firm can influence the price and output decisions of its rivals. Okay, since there is product differentiation, so the fact of cross elasticity of demand will not be here. That means one firm cannot influence the price and output decisions of its rival firms. This diagram indicates the group equilibrium. This diagram, this diagram indicates the group equilibrium. Okay, in this figure DD1 is the group demand curve and CC is the cost curve. Okay, now we are not drawing separately LMC and or MC or AC curve, rather we are drawing just the cost curve in general way. Every firm would like to fix up OP price, because at this price the difference between price and cost is the maximum and producer gets supernormal profit equal to PMTB. Since see what it is said that this DD1 is the group demand curve. Okay, if DD1 is a group demand curve and CC is a cost curve, then demand is quite at a higher point than the cost curve, isn't it? So this OP is the price which every farm will like to set for its price, because at OP price the farm will earn maximum or the supernormal profit, which is equals to PMTB. The other firms will be attracted to enter the market, and now the market demand will be shared by the large number of firms. Now when the farm will be in this zone, now when PMTB is going to be the supernormal profit for the farms, the other firms will also be attracted to enter this market, and then the demand will shift, and because the demand is now is going to be shared by all the farms present in this market. So the other farms, as they get attracted to enter the market, and then the demand will be shared by a large number of farms. In this situation, the demand curve will shift downwards, and the new demand curve will be DD2. Okay, next the new demand curve will be DD2, because the demand is now going to be shared. The huge demand, which was DD1, now you will become DD2, considering the large number of farms in this market. The number of farms in the market will continue increasing till the new demand curve DD2 is tangent to the cost curve. See, this cost curve, when you are drawing, you have to draw it as a tangent to this new demand curve DD2. Okay, so the new firms will keep on joining, will continue to enter the market till the new demand curve DD2 becomes tangent to the cost curve. In this figure, at the point K, demand curve is tangent to the cost curve. See, this demand curve DD2, you will draw that cost curve as a tangent to this demand curve DD2. At this point, the firm will only be earning normal profit, and this will be the equilibrium position of the firm. Thus, under monopolistic competition, OB is the equilibrium price and ON1 is the equilibrium output. Okay, so this point, from this point of tangency of DD2 and CC, you will draw perpendiculars on the price axis, that is y axis, and perpendicular on the x axis, that is output axis. And thus this point of equilibrium, that is the point of tangency rather, that is K, becomes the equilibrium for the group. I will not mention the term industry now, because in monopolistic competition the term industry is better used as the term group. Okay, so for in monopolistic competition, for a group, this equilibrium point is K, where OB is the price and ON1 is the equilibrium level of output. Okay, so that's it. Monopolistic competition is over. If you have any doubt in this discussion, and last day's discussions also, where we had discussed the characteristics, then you can please raise your doubts in our next class. Okay, so I'm ending the recording here. Please go through it. Those who are going through, oh, some of you have joined the class also. Okay, I'm just recording it. Okay, Piyush and Ravi, I think you have joined from our college G Suite account, right? That's why you could join directly. I'm recording the class so that I can upload it, because your CRs told that you have some task today with regards to Calibre, so you won't be able to, all will not be able to join the classes. So I'm recording the class. It's over. So I will upload this recording right now in Moodle. Okay, Ravi and Piyush, you can, if you're interested, you can go through that.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
You are not